Hey, it's Rapstar Boxing Knowledge in the house. YBK is in the house. Talking that boxing, loving that boxing. We are all about boxing. Hey, man, we just thought I'd cook it up for a little bit. We're going to speak about this Terrence Crawford situation. Terrence Crawford, man, where can we start? You know, Terrence Crawford, who came into the sport of boxing and he cleaned up the 135-pound division. When he started boxing, he was in the 135-pound ranks, and the man came and cleaned up. He was one of the best. In fact, he cleaned up the whole division and moved up to 140 pounds. Not many fighters can keep, not forget about one division. They just about can clean up their own division. This man is gone up to 140 pounds and cleaned up the 140-pound division too, you know? And this is Terrence Crawford, the pound for pound, who is a smaller fighter who came up to welterweight. From that and being at the smaller welterweight at 147 pounds, this Terrence Crawford is, looking for greatness. But unfortunately for him, it looks like where he's at right now, it doesn't look like he can achieve any greatness, you know? And being the pound for pound, a Hall of Famer, all these attributes Terrence Crawford has, it unfortunately could put him in a position that could be a, it really could be a boogeyman in a booby trap. Now, what I mean by the boogeyman in a booby trap, Terrence Crawford seems to me that he is trying to achieve greatness, but he's with the wrong promoter. Bob Arum openly tells everybody that he doesn't make much money out of Terrence Crawford. Crawford doesn't seem to have the package what Bob Arum needs in a fighter to make money from him. So, unfortunately for Bob Arum and Terrence Crawford, this whole business partnership is not working out. Terrence Crawford is fighting C plus fighters at welterweight. He's not able to get a fight with the top 5 welterweights of the world. So that puts Terrence Crawford in a bad situation in world boxing. Because even if you cleaned up the 135 and you cleaned up 140, technically you haven't fought anybody, fam, at 147. And that's what's defeating Terrence Crawford's career. So Terrence Crawford, he needs to ride out the Bob Arum contract and he needs to get himself with the PBC, which is the advisor for most of the fighters, a man known who stays in the back end, Al Heyman. Al Heyman is the man who's got the keys for Terrence Crawford. The only way Terrence Crawford can achieve greatness at welterweight, he needs to get out of Bob Arum's contract, which will be running out in 2021, October, I believe. Terrence Crawford needs to run out and get out of that contract, and he needs to approach himself as a free agent and see if he could get a fight-to-fight deal, or maybe even a multiple fight deal with PBC and Al Heyman. Because if he can go in that route, he has a great opportunity to make great fights and improve and get into legacy fights. Now, what I mean by that is if you look at the rankings or you look at the top 5 welterweight fighters today, whatever way you want to cook it, they all are with the PBC and Al Heyman. So Terrence Crawford's opponents from here on now are all with the PBC. And if anyone knows boxing, these fights with Terrence Crawford and the PBC and Al Heyman and Bob Arum has not been getting made from the last few years. So we know Bob Arum and Al Heyman are not able to get this fight on for Terrence Crawford. And I believe that is because PBC and Al Heyman are looking to keep their fighters busy and make sure they keep the money in one house. So the only way Terrence Crawford can achieve those great fights, he has to get the fuck out of Bob Arum's contract. And he has to somehow buy himself out of that contract, or he has to get himself to ride the time of 2021 October when the contract expires and negotiate himself a deal with the Al Heyman and PBC camp. And if he does that, we can get these great fights for Terrence Crawford, which are missing in his career. We got Ugas, which is with the PBC and Al Heyman. We have Sean Porter, which is with the PBC and Al Heyman. And we have Keith Thurman there. We have Lipinez. We have the top 5 welterweights with the Al Heyman and PBC banner. And ultimately, we have Errol Spence Jr., who holds the IBF and the WBC belt. So these are all the fighters that Terrence Crawford will need in order to go forward in the welterweight division if he wants to fight top 5 fighters. So in mentioning those names I mentioned to you, we also have Manny Pacquiao. Now, Manny Pacquiao is holding the WBA super title, and Manny Pacquiao fights once a year. And in this COVID pandemic, I don't even know if Manny Pacquiao still hasn't announced a fight. He'll fight who he wants to fight when he wants to fight. So, excluding Manny Pacquiao, Terrence Crawford doesn't have any fighters or any fight routes that he can go apart from the route of the PBC and Al Heyman. So, just like I said, the only way Terrence Crawford can make good fights, he got to get the fuck out of Bob Arum's contract, or he got to buy himself out of that fucking contract. You know what I mean? Because that's the only route for him, bro. He ain't got no other route, fam. Every other route, he's going to hit a fucking brick wall. You know what I mean? Terrence Crawford cannot make any other fights. There is no other fights for Terrence Crawford to make. He's got to go to the PBC with the Al Heyman banner and get himself a contract or a 3-fight deal, a 2-fight deal, or even a fight-to-fight deal. But he got to get the fuck away from Bob Arum. And that's facts. Terrence Crawford got to get the fuck away from Bob Arum. And that's definitely facts. And on that, smash the like button. You know what I mean? And subscribe to the channel. But I'm just letting everybody know, even if Terrence Crawford gets himself with the Al Heyman and PBC banner, he will still be the B-side in some of those fights. Even if Terrence Crawford is a pound-for-pound fighter and 135 and 140 cleaned up all those divisions, he is still the B-side when it comes to fighting Errol Spence Jr., Terrence Crawford's the B-side. Manny Pacquiao, Terrence Crawford's the B-side. And there is some other fighters there who've got big numbers and big gates from the Al Heyman camp, which is Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman fight with Lopez was the 2.5 million views he got for that fight. So Keith Thurman sells. So Keith Thurman is also a big name for Terrence Crawford. So these are the fights, and that's the route that Terrence Crawford is going to need to take. He's going to need to go to the PBC camp, which I would say the Al Heyman camp. And those are all the fighters which are made on PBC. So, again, Terrence Crawford is in a fucked up position. Terrence Crawford is in a bad position because with the 10, 11 months that he has with Bob Arum, I don't know who the fuck he's going to fight, bro. I really don't know. I don't know who Terrence Crawford can fight now in order to stay active and to stay relevant. I really don't. I'm confused who Terrence Crawford's going to fight if he doesn't get himself out of the Bob Arum contract. He is definitely hitting a brick wall. The man has got no fights lined up. And the only fight Bob Arum can really chase for him, which we know before that never happened, is Bob Arum has to pay Manny Pacquiao for Terrence Crawford to get the WBA super title chance. Because if Terrence Crawford can get that fight and win the WBA super title from Manny Pacquiao, he has 2 titles and he can ask for 50-50 in the Errol Spence fight. But apart from that, if he doesn't get the Manny Pacquiao fight with Bob Arum, I don't know who the fuck Terrence Crawford can fight. He is in a bad situation. He's a boogeyman in a booby trap. That's what Terrence Crawford's problem is. He's a boogeyman in a booby trap. So, again, I don't know what Bud's going to do now. You know what I mean? He can't ride out another 10, 11 months with Bob Arum. And what's he going to do? Stay not active and let the contract run out? Or does he buy himself out of the contract? If you ask me, Terrence Crawford should buy himself out of the contract. That's what he should do. He should get himself out of the Bob Arum contract and find a way to make a deal with Al Heyman and get himself the fights that he needs. That will be the best thing for Terrence Crawford. But in saying that, if you think about it, a pound for pound champion today doesn't mean he's the A side in the fights. A pound for pound champion today doesn't mean Terrence Crawford is the A side in those fights that I told you. He's the B side. So he could be a champion. He could be a pound for pound champion. But if he's not the fan friendly and he's not selling those numbers, then he's going to be the B side for those fights. But again, I think Al Heyman can make this still happen for Crawford. There's only one man, and that's Al Heyman. He can get him those fights. He can get him those relevant fights. And I believe he can make those legacy fights for Terrence Crawford. But, Errol Spence is the number one welterweight. Manny Pacquiao is the WBA super welterweight. And Terrence Crawford is your WBO welterweight champion. So, again, Terrence Crawford's in a queue. Terrence Crawford's with the wrong camp. Terrence Crawford hasn't got any dancing partners. He already got Amir Khan out, which was already past his own best, like 3 years after his best. He got lucky with the Jeff Horn fight, which a lot of people think Jeff Horn, he was lucky in the Manny Pacquiao fight, because if that fight was anywhere else, a lot of people had Manny Pacquiao winning that fight. And then he had a fight with Benavidez and this green machine. Man, Terrence Crawford's opponents are not really been that great at welterweight. They have really been C minus, even if you want to be good, C plus opponents. But, what else is Terrence Crawford meant to do? If you're going to give him the dancing partners is all that you can find him, and he's dealing with them in good fashion, let's not forget, he knocked out or stopped 8 of his last 9 opponents. So again, it's a tricky situation for Crawford. He's not in a great situation. He's hitting a brick wall with Bob Arum and that promotional company, which is behind Crawford. He needs to get the fuck out of the contract. That's what he needs to do. There's no ifs or buts. He needs to get the fuck out of the contract. What do you guys think? Terrence Crawford, he's the B-side in Errol Spence fight. He's the B-side in Manny Pacquiao fight. And a lot of people think he might even be the B-side or a 50-50 in the Keith Thurman fight. That's because of Keith Thurman's numbers and what legacy fights Keith Thurman's had, and being a unified champion when Keith Thurman was the man at welterweight. So again, that puts Terrence Crawford in a bad situation, and I don't know who he's going to fight next. I don't think he fucking knows who he's going to fight next, and I don't think Bob Arum knows who he's going to fight next. And it's all going to be about this contract that he's in with Bob Arum and how he's going to get out of it. So that's probably going to be Terrence Crawford's way. Let me just add, what's up, bro?
How are you, brother? Good?
Hey, man, I'm good, man. You from Australia, right?
Yeah, South Sydney, brother.
Hey, man, we got to talk to you about the Maloney situation. How you feeling about that, man? What a robbery.
Fucking disgrace, bro. That was one of the worst decisions I've seen. I couldn't believe it. I don't know how I can't believe they couldn't even overturn that within 20 minutes. Fucking joke, man.
That's sad, man. Maloney got robbed, bro.
Yeah, he got fucked over bad, bro. And Garcia and that were talking shit after the fight. They were lucky to even get that gift, They should have just shut their mouth and took their belt. They got a complete gift.
I think Bob Arum needs to get him that rematch again now.
Yeah, 100%. You've got to have a third fight.
And I don't know what they were doing looking at those tapes on and on again. I mean,
it just seemed like it was theatrics. It was all for show, It was nothing. It looked like it was. They had their minds already made up. Nothing was going to change it.
Yeah, he was totally outboxing the guy. He jabbed him. It was a jab. It was totally, a lot of people in boxing are disgusted about that. But we all hoping for Maloney to get his just due for that. So, that is really sad about boxing. So I'm sure the Australians are really disgusted with that too.
Yeah, well, it's actually given Maloney a bit of attention, Downey, because only like not many people know him outside of boxing, but it's got people that didn't even know much about boxing disgusted that they're starting to follow him. So it's actually, in a weird way, it kind of helped him. It's terrible what happened, but it's given him a bit more shine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's definitely got more shine all over the world. So hopefully that rematch will happen soon. So how do you feel about Crawford, bro?
I thought it was a really impressive performance. I mean, I know Kell Brook wasn't at his best, but what I saw early was Terrence kind of, I think he come out right-handed. So, because Kel usually lands that right hand real well against southpaws. So I think he kind of fought orthodox to limit Kel's threat early, which is always dangerous early, and have a little bit of a look at him. And then when he switched to southpaw, he'd already kind of figured him out, and then he just timed that punch beautifully, in the fourth round, and just dissected Kel.
Yeah, it just seems like Kell Brook wasn't the Kell Brook that we ever remember him as.
No, he
But
definitely wasn't. He definitely wasn't. He definitely
yeah,
wasn't.
but I mean, hats off to Crawford. He does what he's got to do. But how do you feel, Jed, about Crawford being in this situation where he's never fighting the top five welterweights? He's always fighting out of the top 10 or people which are not that relevant. And is getting, he's hitting a brick wall now. So what should he do? He's got 11 months with Bob Arum and he ain't got no fights to make. And every fight he looks at, they're not with Bob Arum. So how frustrating could that be for the pound for pound champion?
Yeah, he's in a tough place, man. Crawford needs a big fight desperately. He needs a huge fight ASAP because the last few years it's been okay fighters, but not fighters up to his level. He needs a big fight more than anyone in the sport. I think at the moment.
Yeah, facts. I mean, Crawford's in a very bad situation. Crawford's in such a bad situation that if he doesn't get out the Bob Arum contract, he's going to face himself in a no-win situation because if Manny Pacquiao, they can't get him the Manny Pacquiao fight, Jed, he's definitely in trouble.
I think so.
And he will not have any relevant fights left. Everybody outside the top 10, I'm going to tell you names like Andre Berto, Luis Collazo. I mean, who the fuck wants to see him fight people like that now?
No cunt wants to watch that fucking them fight, man. That's terrible.
Yeah, that's what terrible position he's in. And every other fighter like Ugas, Lipanez, I mean, if you want to talk about the fighters who are around without much, I mean, they're not world champions. They got regular titles, Ugas has. But, you got Ugas, you got Lipanez, you got Sean Porter, Keith Furman. They're all with PBC and Al Heyman now.
Yeah, he's frozen out by the looks of it. He's frozen out.
Yeah, so hopefully he might find a promotion or try and see if he can get somebody to buy him out that contract and maybe see if he can get himself into a position. Maybe who knows?
You know what I was being saying, Rapstar. Crawford's resume is full of a lot of very good wins, and it's real deep. He's beat a lot of very good fighters, but he's missing that one super fight, that one elite fighter, that great win, the legacy-defining fight. He's just missing that at the moment.
Yeah, but there's no one there, dude. I mean, what do we do? Do we send There's no one to fight. There's just
No,
totally no one for him to fight unless he gets to Al Heyman's camp. Even in England with Eddie Hearn and DAZN, I can't think of many welterweights which are waiting over there. In the rankings.
Josh Kelly. That's
Yeah,
about
but
it.
Josh Kelly is not really somebody that
Yeah, of course.
Terrence Crawford can't gain anything from that.
Yeah. I'm only joking with that. Josh Kelly. That's all.
Yeah, I mean that's how bad it is, though, right?
Of course, yeah.
We got
The
yeah, but
only thing that he could possibly, I guess, the winner of Josh Taylor Ramirez, if they moved up, that's all I could see down the line. That's it, about it.
right, Josh Taylor Ramirez hasn't announced their fight yet, right?
Yeah, so that's his
By
one.
the
Yeah,
time they fight and then get a fight with Crawford, it's like he's going to be inactive for a year.
yeah, exactly.
He's in a real bad situation. Shall we send him to Australia to find out 154 with Tim Tszyu?
Yeah, I think he'd do it. I think he'd beat Tim Tszyu pretty comfortably. So that would be, I guess, but
Hey,
like you
Tim
said,
Tszyu's coming up, right? Tim Tszyu is coming up, and I think he's Australian's next fighter who's trying to come up, isn't he?
he is. Yeah. He's not. I don't think he's ready for Crawford at the moment, though. So that
Yeah, I
would be, I
mean,
guess. Yeah.
He did good with Jeff Horn. I mean, he did
He,
break Jeff Horn down, didn't he?
he did, yeah. Jeff Horn was Jeff Horn went life and death with Zarata, though, who's not another world class fighter before that. So I don't know how much Jeff Horn has left. And Jeff Horn's main strength was his size at welterweight. At one point,
Mm.
he's fighting guys just as big as him. He's really limited skill wise. It takes away his best advantage. So I think Jeff Horn's a sitting duck at 54. So I don't know how much that fight can tell us.
Hey, the funny thing is though, I just can't believe how Crawford is in such a bad situation and being the pound for pound number one guy. And it just sounds so ridiculous that the guy is stuck with C minus fighters.
Well, that's why I can't put him down. I've got him pound for pound number two. I've got to have Canelo still one. Say whatever you want
Yeah,
about
no, that's fair enough.
yeah.
But a lot of people in America and different countries have still got Crawford win the 1, 2, 3. Don't matter what way you want to put it, he's there.
Yeah, well, I've got him two myself, so I'm one of them, yeah. So.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of people got Canelo for sure. Um, but again, it's just in a bad situation. I think right now, if he can get out of this Bob Arum contract somehow, we might get to see Terrence Crawford have a good fight in 2021. Or otherwise, we're not going to see a really good fight at all from 2021. Forget about it.
I'd love to see Crawford fight, even fight Porter. That'd be a wicked fight. I'd love to see that.
Oh yeah, Crawford and Porter.
Yeah, that'd be a sick fight. I'd love to see that.
Hey, that would be a good fight. Crawford and Porter, for
Yeah,
sure. That would be a really good fight. I think also you've got Ugas there, Keith Thurman. Um, you've got a few fighters there, dude. I mean, Porter seems like the most credible guy right now, and the most, stronger guy out of the PBC camp after Errol Spence. You know what I mean?
yeah, I agree with that.
I think Porter might beat Thurman now too.
Oh, I think Thurman might be done at elite level. I don't know how much he's got left, brother.
Yeah, what's coming out of Australia now? I mean, who we looking out for from there? We got that guy who just beat Lee Selby, didn't we?
Yeah, he's gonna. I think he might even get a fight with Lopez. I don't think he'll. I don't think. I think Lopez is too good for Cambosis. Cambosis is a tough kid. He'll give a good fight, but Lopez is another level. I think he'll do a job on Cambosis if he fights Lopez.
Yeah, but I think they might be able to pay a lot of money for Lopez to go to Australia.
Well, that'd be great. That'd be a great fight down here. Bring a lot of attention to the sport. So that would be great if that could happen.
Yeah, that would be a good fight for Australia. For Teofimo to go over there, but I got Teofimo. I mean, I actually got Teofimo stopping Cambosis.
I agree. Cambosis is tough. He's a tough lad. He grew up 10, 15 minutes from me, but I don't think he's on the level of Lopez. But anything can happen in boxing. So if he goes there and has a go, who knows? His dreams could come true.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think there's a lot of noise behind Tim Tszyu. Now this guy that just beat Lee Selby. Any other guys that we need to know about from Australia?
Well, I'll tell one now. My brother's starting to box. Roy Kyle. You'll hear about him in a few years. He's a young amateur, but he'll be turning pro in a few years. So
what's his name?
Roy Kyle. You'll hear about him down the line.
Really?
Yeah, he's a young fighter. He just started. He's 18 years old, but he's fucking dedicated to the sport. So you'll be hearing that name in the future.
Well, when he gets into a purpose fight, you can come and bring him on our channel and we'll promote him.
100%, mate. But otherwise, at the moment, the best prospects down here are probably in the heavyweights. There's a lad named Jai Apatita, I think his name is, the Polynesian kid. He's a pretty good prospect at heavyweight. And there was another heavyweight as well. I can't remember his name. He just won the Aussie title in his first fight, which is pretty good step up.
Okay, so you got a heavyweight prospect coming out of Australia, yeah?
Yeah, a couple of them, yeah. A couple of decent ones.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we got a fight in London. Daniel Dubois and Joe Joyce coming up soon.
Yeah, can't wait for that. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, keep an eye on that. I think the winner goes and does some good stuff in the world rankings.
I think Dubois will beat Joyce. What do you think?
Yeah. I've got the same thing. I made a video of it last week. I've got Daniel Dubois beating Joe Joyce, but anything can happen in heavyweight boxing. But I'm edging it to Daniel Dubois for sure. I think he's got the momentum. He's got the age gap. Joe Joyce is a bit slow. He sometimes just feels, you can see that he gets a little bit, stuck in later rounds. But again, Joe Joyce is a strong man, and you never see him going down either. So both of them are good for each other right now.
Yeah, I think so too. You know what about Joe Joyce? It's funny. He looks slow, but he always lands. He's accurate. The punches seem like they're coming in slow motion, but his accuracy is very high. He always lands his punches. So I think he's one of them guys. He's better than what he looks on TV. You know, if you're in there, you'd be surprised with how good he is.
Hey, that's a very good point. Some fighters, they don't look that great, but when you get in there with them, you see why they're good, and you
Yeah,
see why they have that X factor. You know what I mean?
that's what I think it is. But I think Dubar will stop him. Like you said, I think he's too slow. And Dubar, he's punching like a beast. He looks
Yeah,
like
he's
a real.
punching like a mule, bruv. And there's a saying about some years ago, Jed, that in some sparring, he actually did drop Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, I heard that as well. Yeah, a British fella, he's an English lad, told me that he as well. I heard that a few years ago.
Yeah, and they took everybody's mobile phones. They didn't expect that to happen.
I
The
think I heard that.
security made sure there was no footage because Anthony Joshua was a multi-million pound fighter, you know?
Yeah, same thing I heard, mate. That's
And,
what I heard as well.
you know, when you got a young boy coming up like Dubar and, you know, you're doing that to the number one prospect after the Olympics, they got to keep that really quiet, you know?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
And, you know, in real boxing, whatever happens in sparring, a real gentleman's sport, nobody knows about it.
Oh yeah, do you have any stories that we haven't even heard? Probably of great fighters, going at it and would have been happening since the beginning of the sport.
I mean, can you imagine if we could have had all that old footage of we seeing the greatest fighters in the world getting stopped by maybe, who knows, somebody who just come out from amateurs. There could be a nobody. It happens all the
Yeah,
time,
it definitely does. 100%. Yeah, yeah.
you know. So at the end of the day, I reckon that Daniel Dubois is up and coming. We really don't know how good they are, though, really, do we?
Nah, nah, only the ring will tell it. Once they get in there, that'll answer all questions.
I'll tell you what. Do you know the fighter that if you really want to know you're really great in the heavyweight right now,
Yep.
you need to fight somebody like Joseph Parker.
Yeah, that's yeah, definitely. I see there's another test as well. Derek Chisora gives everyone a hard fight.
Hey, Derek Chisora is a good gatekeeper.
Yep.
Derek Chisora is a good person that you can, have as the gatekeeper. But if you want to go to the world elite, you got to beat people like Joseph Parker.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Joseph Parker's definitely probably a level
You
above
only
that.
know you're at world level if you beat Joseph Parker.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, I'd agree.
Because Joseph Parker still has a chance to win a world title in a great, great, great performance if he has with Anthony Joshua.
Well, you
Or,
know what I'd say? If you beat Chisora, you're world level. But if you beat Parker, you're elite. You're an elite heavyweight, like you're top 5 or 6. Whereas if you
yeah, I
beat
mean,
Chisora, you become top 10, 15.
yeah, I mean, Derek Chisora did put a good performance in with Usyk, but again, Usyk they were disappointed that Usyk never put a better performance in, but maybe that was because of Derek Chisora.
Yeah, I expected a tough fight. I knew Chisora would give him a tough 12 rounds, so that didn't surprise me.
And at the end of the day, far as I'm concerned, these fighters have to fight each other, and the only way we're going to find out is when they start fighting each other right now. And just like these fights that need to be made, a lot of things have slowed things down, but fights need to be made. And I think the next big fight we got next week, we've got this Tyson. I mean, it's not a big fight, but we got Tyson and Roy Jones's card with an exhibition bout.
Yeah,
I don't know what the fuck to think about that.
that's a bit of a fucking freak show, isn't it?
Yeah, I
Two
don't know what to
legends,
think about that, man. I
yeah,
mean, they're
two
both my
legends of the game.
legendary fighters, but I don't know what to think.
But the fact that it gets so much attention, I think that shows some of boxing's problems at the moment. That two 50-year-olds can become so relevant. Like in the 80s, no one would give a fuck about two former legends, because you had Leonard Hearns, you had Leonard Benitez, Salvador Sanchez Gomez, Durant, you had all these guys every week fighting the best. No one would give a fuck about two 50-year-olds. But this day and age, because the young fighters aren't fighting enough and fighting each other, these two old lads are fucking getting all the attention. They're more relevant.
Hey, man, I gotta tell you, you just mentioned some serious fighters, Jed. I mean, are you giving your age away? These are like old school fighters, dude. I've
No,
done some
I'm
history in
only
the
30,
sport,
lad. I'm only
huh?
30, lad.
Yeah, but you sounded like you were 75 there. I mean, fucking hell, you mentioned names there that you don't hear on people's platforms. Wilfredo Gomez,
Student of the
Salvador
game, bro.
Sanchez. I
I'm
mean,
a
these
student
are
of the game, bro.
legendary fighters from the 70s, bro.
Yeah, student of the game, mate. You gotta study the sport, you know.
Hey, what the fuck is going on, bro? At the end of the day, man, I mean, that's some serious legend fight. I was just watching a documentary the other day. I was just vaguely watching the Salvador Sanchez. He died um in a
Car,
in a what?
car accident or motorbike? It was on the road though. It was a road accident.
Wait, I thought he died in a plane crash, wasn't it?
No, I think it was a road accident. Maybe double check. I wouldn't, but I'm pretty sure it was a road accident.
Yeah, I mean, he was the man, Salvador Sanchez. I mean,
23, right? He was only 23 when he died.
no,
He
I got to
died.
check that. I don't know how old Salvador Sanchez was.
I think he was 23, 22, 23.
You know, I don't know how old he what when he died.
Yeah, real young.
Holy fuck! I know Wilfredo Gomez. He was a badass. He was a
Oh,
real bad dude.
the
He was
Zucker.
a bad motherfucker, wasn't
122. I don't think anyone in history could beat him at 122. Yeah, 122. That was his weight. Super Burnham.
he? I think Sugar Ray Leonard beat him.
No, that was Benitez.
Oh
Benitez.
yeah, yeah, that was Wilfredo Benitez.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm getting mixed up with my Wilfredos right now.
Yeah.
Wilfredo. Oh
Yeah.
shit, man.
Gomez is Sanchez beat Gomez, beat him up, took his undefeated record.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. I mean, I reckon though, at the end of the day, those fighters, like you said, when they were fighting in the early days, they were just fighting, and there wasn't this one fight a year bullshit, you know?
Exactly. Well, like I was going to say, Sanchez died early 20s. He beat undefeated Azuma Nelson, undefeated Wilfredo Gomez, and Denny Red Lopez, who was pound for pound. He had all them legacy defining great victories, and he's only in his early 20s.
Holy fuck. Which one? I think Wilfredo Benitez won a world title at 17.
He beat Cervantes, Colombian fighter, Antonio Cervantes. He beat him at the age of 17.
Hey, Jed Kyle, you don't sound 30, bro. You sound 65 with all that knowledge, bro. Where'd you get your knowledge from? You just done a lot of your history, have you, like me?
Yeah, I grew up in the sport. My father was a boxer, so I've just had boxing in my life, or something's always been something I love.
And now your brother's a boxer.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Excellent. So it's just kept you in the boxing fraternity, huh?
Yeah, that's right. And I've always done it in self-training.
So give us your top 5 Australian fighters for all my viewers right now.
What, all time?
Yeah, go ahead. All-time
Right,
top 5. Of course, we're going to know it's Costa Zoo, but carry on yourself.
Jeff Fennick number 1, even with Cost. Jeff Fennick number 1.
Okay.
Jeff Fennick number 1. Costa Zoo number 2. Some people don't count him because he's Russian, but we'll just count him because he's a hero down here. Number 3, Les Darcy. He was an Aboriginal fighter, beat Fighting Harada in Japan, so he's a legend.
What about French?
Sorry, that was Lionel Rose. I said Les Darcy. That was Lionel Rose who beat Fighting Harada. But Lionel Rose, top 3, Les Darcy. And for the 5th, Jeff Harden, I put him as well.
All right. These were serious fighters, all world title holders.
Johnny Famajon as well would be up there. He's a featherweight.
That's awesome, man. Anyway, we got L-Dog in the house. He says Teofimo Lopez versus Cambosis in Australia.
Yeah, big up to L-Dog. Stand up guy.
Yeah, L-Dog. That fight might happen. That fight might happen.
He's only rap star. He's very intelligent about the sport as well for a young fella. I think he's only in his 20s. He knows a lot.
Yeah. I mean, everybody who loves the game starts to come around me because I love the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, L-Dog's very intelligent.
I love the game, man. That's just what I do. That's, for me, I've had friends and stuff who fought people who had world titles. I've had friends who fought, Hall of Famers. But, that's another story,
Yeah. I remember, I think I heard you saying you know Nigel Benn, eh?
Yeah, Nigel Benn. I've known him since a kid. I went to Chris Eubank Jr.'s gym.
He's one of my favourite fighters to watch all time. He's one of my favourite fighters to watch all time. He was a killer in the ring.
Oh yeah, he was a killer in the ring, bro, for sure.
He lives out he lives here now, brother, Western Sydney. He lives out at
He lives in Australia now.
Yeah, out Penrith Way. It's out west here. He lives out here now, lad.
Right, right. We got D Hodges is in the place. LT's in the place. I hope all you guys can bear with me. I sound a bit lazy, you know what I mean? And yeah, man. I mean, at the end of the day, man, like I said, Terrence Crawford's in a fucked up position. No matter what way I look at it, if he stays with Bob Arum, it's fucked. There is no fucking fight. We can't expect a fight because he can't get the Manny Pacquiao fight. He's tried to get the Manny Pacquiao fight before for Terrence Crawford. And Manny Pacquiao's not going to want less than 20, 25 million a fight.
I
So,
think I think him and Aaron have finished. Aaron threw him under the bus a day or two ago. I think that might be the final straw. I think he might be finished with Aaron now. I think that might be done. I think that might be the final.
yeah, I mean, Arum's saying that he's losing money with Crawford now.
Exactly, yeah, and he said that publicly. To me, that's a statement that could be the end of their fucking business relationship, you know?
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, right? Crawford, what he needs to do, he got to find to make a deal with Al Heyman and see if Al Heyman can buy him out of the Bob Arum contract.
Yeah, I agree. That would be best.
If he's got 11 months left with Bob Arum, right, Jed? If he can get out of that contract, he can then go and make really good fights with Bob Arum. I mean, with Al Heyman. And Al Heyman, if he gets him the Errol Spence fight, there'll be a rematch in the clause. So those fights can become trilogy.
That's what we want as well. We want to see these legendary trilogies.
Who doesn't want to see Errol Spence Jr., Terrence Crawford, first fight? And then no matter how close or whatever way it goes, there's a rematch.
Yep, and then to me, they're that evenly matched. They would probably beat each other the first two and have a third fight, you know?
Hey, what I'm saying to you, bruv, if they could make this whole welterweight division start to become fireworks, you know?
Yep.
And it could be the biggest fight in the world for us in the welterweight right now. Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, or if Al Heyman is a super genius, he will go and get Manny Pacquiao for Terrence Crawford. And I'll tell you why, Jed. He'll try and see if he can, because now he's signing to Al Heyman, he becomes Al Heyman's invested interest, right?
Yep.
So if Al Heyman gets Terrence Crawford, Manny Pacquiao for the WBA super title. Now, if Terrence Crawford wins that fight, he's got two titles, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's correct, yeah.
Errol Spence has got two titles. Errol Spence got a WBC IBF. Terrence Crawford will have the WBA super title and the WBO. That will be for all four belts, and Al Heyman can cash in on three fights.
Yeah, yeah.
That could be the 2 or 3 fights, biggest fights of the welterweight game.
Yeah, and like we said, Crawford and Spence could have a legendary trilogy, you know? And they need to get moving now because they're both in their early 30s, their prime, before it's too late, you know?
Hey, man, they got to get these fights going now because Terrence Crawford's coming 33. He's got to get these fights now. Time is going. Errol Spence can just keep going, and he can go to 154 anyway.
Yeah, I think Spence will do really good at 154 as well.
I think he cleans up 154 if Jamel Charlo moves up.
I think he could beat Charlo anyway.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think he beats Jamel Charlo too.
Yeah, they won't fight because they're teammates, but I think he beats Charlo. I saw Charlo interviewed about their sparring. I just got a feeling Errol gets it over him. I know sparring's different, but the vibe I got from the interviews, I think Errol gives him the work in sparring, eh?
You're not wrong there. There's a saying that Errol Spence has sometimes beaten Jamel Charlo in and out of in the ring for sure. In the
very good
sparring.
fighter. I'm not, very good, very talented fighter, but I think Errol's a special talent.
Hey, as far as I'm concerned, we want to see the fights. I want to see the fights. You want to see the fights. America wants to see the fights. We're not even from fucking America, but we want to see the fights.
Oh, everyone down here wants to see it. They don't even know. They say to me, when Spence and Crawford going to fight, you know?
Yeah, especially with Kell Brook just going there and, making a fool of himself. Everybody in London goes, look, fuck that shit. We want to watch Terrence Crawford. Yeah, we just want to watch Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence now.
So the people in England weren't happy with Kell Brooks before.
Of course they wasn't. They don't want to see him ever fight again.
Yeah, I can see why.
Because he's got two bad eye sockets. He's not the same fighter he ever was at welterweight. What's he going to do at 154? He's going to get really hurt badly and he can go blind. He can go fucking blind.
He'll go to hospital if he fights at 154.
And if this guy's got a chance of going blind, is it worth any money?
Well, that's up to him, but not in my opinion, no.
Yeah, and I think even if he has a domestic fight, I mean, look, if he goes to 154, um, Costa Zoo's son can use him for a name.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, I can see Tim Zoo beats Kell Brook right now.
yeah. Tinder beats Brook.
Tim
That's
Zoo
right.
beats Kell Brook,
Yeah, he does. He does.
and Tim Zoo stops Kell Brook.
Yeah, I think he would too, probably. I actually watched Tinder I watched him. I was front row from his not Jeff Horn fight before the fight before. I was sitting front row. I was real impressed with him up close. How much he controlled the ring. He wasn't fighting a very good opponent, but you know when you can see a really good fighter up close, you see how their mind thinks in the ring, how much they know what they're doing, how skilled they are. He really impressed me watching him live.
Mm. I think L Dog wants to answer to your question.
Yeah, no worries.
He's saying Jamel Charlo has good fundamentals, great athleticism, but I'm not sold on his technical ability. He seems kind of basic and times, but his athleticism and size bows him out. I think Errol Spence beats Jamal Charlo.
Yeah, that's exactly Yell Dog's right on the mark. He summed it
I
up
don't
perfect.
want to sound bad because I like the twins, I really do. But I reckon if Errol went slowly to 160 after another year, he beat Jamal Charlo.
Ooh, that's a big. Yeah, I'm
And the
sitting right.
only reason I say that, out of both the brothers, I think Jamal is more talented. The one with the E is more talented for me than the one with the A.
Yeah, I like the middleweight one a bit better, but I think the other one might be a bit more talented. But I like the middleweight how he uses his range and size. I think he's real good at his style. Um, I was pretty impressed with him in that Derevchenko fight, the way he controlled that.
Yeah, and a lot of people do like Tim Zoo right now. I'm not gonna lie, Tim Zoo, because he stopped Jeff Horn with really great fashion, and he really put a beating on Jeff Horn. You know what I mean?
Yeah, beat the fuck out of him, hammered.
He beat the fuck out of him better than Crawford did.
I probably agree. Yeah, they both beat the fuck out of him, but yeah, Tinder probably did a
But
bit more.
Tim Zoo really, really gave him some good damage as well.
Yeah, he
And
gave him
I,
a good
I
beating.
reckon Tim Zoo, if he's got to start, getting himself together. But the other guys at 154, bro. I mean, it's not going to be easy for him.
No, I think right now Tim Tszyu could beat the Brazilian champion. I can't remember his name. I think he's a WBO champ. I think Tim Tszyu beats him right now. Um, the rest 154, I think he needs a little bit more time to get to just a bit more experience before he clashes with them. Just another say year or two.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tim Zoo. Who's his next fight now?
Oh, it's in December. It's against another domestic fighter here. I can't remember his name. Mark Hunt's fighting some fucking football player here on the undercard. More people talking just out of you more.
That's so funny. Everybody's coming out of retirement to fight, and there's people fighting football players next week. Have you heard of Jake Paul? He's fighting a guy called Nate Jones or something.
Nah, nah. Can't.
So Jake Paul is that guy from the YouTube. Um,
Right. Oh,
Logan
YouTube.
Paul, Jake Paul, KSI.
Nah.
So
Oh,
these are
is this the one
YouTube
that had?
fighters.
Wait a minute. Are these the lads that had that big fight in England?
Yeah,
Two
yeah,
years
yeah.
ago?
So
Yeah.
they're fighting on the undercard of Tyson and Roy Jones.
Okay, fair enough. I guess.
It
Hey,
looks like
anyone
a
who gets in the
freak
ring.
show. I think
Yeah,
it's going to be a freak show.
yeah. But I guess anyone who gets in the ring, whatever money they get, that they've got in there and earn it, might. So good luck to them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's going to be one of those Roy Jones, Tyson, Jake Paul, Nate Jones. And then I think there's going to be some real boxing in there, like Badu Jack. Badu Jack is going to be fighting on the card. So there will be some good boxing on there too. But apart from that, we've got the Daniel Dubois, Joe Joyce coming up. We've got Anthony Joshua, Pulev. We
Yeah,
got Danny
that's
Garcia, Errol Spence.
I can't wait for that. Danny Garcia, Errol Spence. I think people are underrating that fight. I can't wait for that. I think that's a great fight.
Oh, I can't wait for Danny Garcia and Spence.
Yeah, I think that's a sick fight, man.
Man, I can't. Man, L Dog is telling you that they robbed Maloney.
Yeah, well, L Dog's 100% right. They robbed him blind.
Oh
That was the
man,
worst robbery.
the whole
Yeah,
world is saying that.
that's the worst robbery from an Aussie lad since Jeff Fennick got robbed in the first Azuma Nelson fight in Vegas. I know Azuma fucked him up in the rematch, but Fennick got robbed in the first fight in Vegas. That's the worst an Aussie fight has been done since then.
And you know what? Maloney's jab was perfect, dude.
Yeah, he's a good boxer. Even other brother's a good boxer. He just come up against a special fighter.
Oh, he came up against a special dude, man.
Fuck, I knew he's a wicked fighter, eh? Fuck, how good is
Hey, that's another guy, man. That little dude is a monster.
he? Yeah, he is, bro.
Hey, man, he's something else, dude. But you know, we got some great fights coming up to finish the year off. Because look, if you think about it, Christmas is round the corner, and we got these fights coming up. Is there any other fights? I mean, because you know, it's early in the morning. I'm a bit tired. There is some fights I've missed out, but I've told you about the big ones anyway. What's coming up?
Yeah, I think you've covered all the big ones. I mean, there's you watch MMA much or you only boxing?
I do watch some MMA, but it's only when Khabib, Conor McGregor,
The big
Nate
no.
Nate Diaz, or you know, somebody who's like got my attention, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, even off the top of my head, I can't think, but they're big. There might be some big MMA fights at the end of the year. L Dog might. I know L Dog follows that sport as well. But yeah.
Well, anyway, I think there's what's that? Is Fontuna? One of those guys. I don't know. I think that's his name. Fontuna.
Oh,
He's
not
fighting.
Javier for tuna.
Yeah. I think he's fighting, isn't he?
Yeah. Who's he fighting? Dominican lad. I think. Yeah,
Something like that next week or something, isn't it?
he was an exciting fighter a few years ago. I haven't seen much of him in the last couple of years though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that's it really. Those 4, 5, 6 fights, and that's it. And then that's it. 2020's done. It's been a crazy fucking year. I'm glad we had boxing. You know, the whole world went and started wearing masks and telling us there's some crazy shit in the world going on when there was a pandemic.
Yeah.
You know, so now
Oh,
hopefully 2021. You know, I miss those days of going to the big arenas now. You know.
Yeah, well, that who knows when that'll come back. I mean, that's an unanswered question at the moment. Like, who the fuck knows when you?
Can you imagine standing with 40, 50,000 fans and just, you know, oh man, I want to do it so much more now.
Yeah, well, I've always wanted to go to a big fight in England because they're the best atmosphere. That's something I wanted to do, but
We're crazy, bruv.
never get to see it.
Yeah, we're crazy for fights. Like when we go out there in England watching fights, oh mate, we're crazy.
Oh, I know, bro. Because here, lad, right? There's heaps of Irish, Liverpool guys from London. There's so many people from that come to Australia, you know, on holidays or come to live. So I talk to them all the time. Fuck, they love boxing, you know. It's like they really love the sport over there. Whereas here, it's a second tier sport. No one really gives a fuck about it, but you can tell that the English, Irish, Scottish, they have a love and passion for it, you know.
So what's Australia's best sports then?
What the sport they love the most?
Yeah.
Here in Sydney, it's rugby league. Here in Sydney and Queensland, rugby league. Over Melbourne, the rest of the country, Aussie rules football. That's one where they mostly kick. It's a fucking shit sport, but they just kick the ball around and that in the air. But rugby league's the biggest sport here in
So there's not a huge boxing fraternity around Australia.
Nah, fuck. Even MMA's probably bigger these days, to be honest.
That's crazy, man.
Because there's been two Aussie UFC champions the last few years, Robert Whittaker and Alexander Volkanovski. So the sport that's probably even been bigger down here.
Hey, L Dog's asking you to watch out for a lad called Justice Hun. Justice Hun.
That's the guy I was talking about, rap star that won I think he won the Aussie title in his first fight. I couldn't remember his name. That's the fellow I was talking about.
Okay. So that's the fighter that he's also keeping an eye on.
Yeah, heavyweight. I'm pretty sure he's a heavyweight.
Yeah, I mean, okay, this kind of guy is like coming up, is he? What's his
Yeah,
record? What's his
no,
record?
I think he's only had one fight. He won the Aussie title in his first fight.
Oh, okay. So he's just got a really, really great amateur ranking too.
I think so. Yeah, I'd never really heard of him. I actually heard Mark Unrivaled, the Irish fella. He was talking about it. That's where I first heard of him.
Hey man, I just hope that Andrew, you know, after speaking to you, Jed, you know, I remember the Andrew Maloney situation. And I just hope that he gets his fucking trilogy because that's gone all over the world now, and people are just disgusted.
Yeah, as they should be. And fuck Garcia talking shit to him after it. They got a
Yeah,
gift.
Garcia and his camp, motherfuckers. What the fuck is he getting mad for?
Exactly. And I like Garcia, but they're fucking carrying on like Gronks after that fight. Like, take your gift and leave, you know?
Yeah, Garcia had no right to be shouting, man.
No,
Mofo.
they got a gift. They should have took their belt and fucking been happy with it. So they got a gift off
They're
the
trying
camp.
to make him feel sorry for something he ain't even done.
Yeah, they were the benefit of a robbery of him.
Man, that's crazy. I just can't believe that. I mean, that we didn't want to see that before the end of the year. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll just ask L Dog in the chat. Is the honey is he a Polynesian heritage or Aboriginal? If he knows.
What do you mean? Is he what in heritage?
Yeah, I was just asking L Dog, Polynesian or Aboriginal? Honey.
Was L Dog from Australia?
No, he's from New Zealand. He's from NZ.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you spoke to L Dog before, haven't
Many
you?
times, many times. I mean,
Yeah, he's from NZ. I'm not sure what part of NZ, but he's definitely New Zealand.
yeah. I mean, that's not far from you guys, right?
Nah, it's only a couple of hours on a plane.
Okay. So that's just yeah. That's
Yeah, and a
just like
lot of guys I know actually that they grew up here, but they were born in New Zealand. They've been deported because there's a new rule: you get out of jail, they're deporting them. So a lot of boys I know that got out of jail have been sent back to NZ.
right. Yeah, I think he is a Sambayan. What the fuck
Samoan,
is it?
Samoan.
Oh, you know what that is, right?
Yeah. Fair, I swear those. Thanks, look.
Yeah. I mean, what's Joseph Parker's got a fight, isn't
Yeah, I think he was fighting a domestic fight, maybe it might have been another New Zealander or maybe an Aussie. I remember hearing that.
he? I heard he's got a fight on. Is that before the end of this year?
Yeah, I might go check quickly now because I remember someone was telling me about that.
Yeah. Because I just heard Joseph Parker's got a fight soon.
Yeah, but Parker annoys me. Like he's got that much talent. Like he's got footwork, fast hands. He can take a punch. He seems to be missing that aggression though, that killer instinct in him to become to become a real dominant champion. You know, he's missing that X factor.
No, Parker doesn't have a lot of aggression in him.
He doesn't, man. He's too nice.
Yeah, no, he's just too calm in the fucking ring.
But even
And
outside, yeah, and he's a real nice like Samoan kid in that. You know, I can
yeah,
tell
but
he's
boxing's not made for nice
not,
personalities like that.
it's not.
Even if you look, Manny Pacquiao's got the great personality in the world, but he's a killer in the ring.
Yeah, and you could tell Manny's been a bit of a killer outside the ring. You know, like he knows how to. He's humble and that, but you could tell he's seen his fair share of violence in his life for sure. You know.
Yeah, I'm not happy with I'm happy with Joseph Parker's talent. I'm just not happy with the X factor that he doesn't carry the killer aggression,
Yeah,
or he just doesn't go for the kill when he hurts you as well. And I just feel like Parker's missing something a little bit.
he's man because he's one of the most talented heavyweights easily in the world right now.
Yeah, for sure. You never see Parker ever get stopped.
Imagine Parker with the mentality of Dillian White. How good he'd be.
Yeah, or yeah, that would be good. Like Parker needs that kind of a killer instinct inside of him for sure. But he's a good fighter.
Very good fighter. Yeah, very good fighter.
Yeah, most underrated heavyweight.
Give Joshua and Dillian White good fights. You know.
Man, yeah, for sure. And if you really look at it, he could have, man, see, he could have finished Dillian White if he really tried. I don't know why he couldn't. You know what I mean? He nearly had him hurt. He had him hurt.
Had him all over the place.
Yeah, see, Parker's missing the finish
Yeah,
when it comes to when he hurts somebody in a really good world level. You know?
Yeah, definitely. I even noticed that when he was coming up, how he would hurt a fighter, but he didn't have that real killer good finishing instinct. So I was even noticing that when he was fighting like Journeyman and that on the come up. You know.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, also we got to recognize that. Where's Parker trained now? Is he in New Zealand?
Yeah, I know he trained in Vegas for a bit, but he's always had the same trainer, Kevin Barry. I'm pretty sure the Barry fella fought Evander Holyfield in the amateurs at one time. That's all I know about him. But I know that Kevin Barry's had him. I'm pretty sure he's still his trainer. Maybe Maybe if L-Dog knows if he's left him or not by now. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, man. I know Parker's. I don't know where his gym is though, dude.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think he probably still trains in NZ.
Right, right. I mean, you know what? Parker can still do a lot in the heavyweight game because he, like we said earlier, if you beat him, you could be an elite world title, like heavyweight. You know, you'll be a guy considered to be an elite. You know what I mean?
If you beat Parker, you're top five, 100%.
Yeah, you beat Parker, you're definitely top five. So
Yep.
can you imagine how many heavyweights are coming up? And Parker's such a big name, right? Everybody needs him.
Yeah, I'll have to. I'd ask L-Dog, who would he go for if Parker fought Hergovic?
Yeah, Parker versus Hergovich in the future. Parker
Would
versus
L-Dog be
Dan.
torn then, or would he still back her? I think he's still back Hergovic.
Yeah, Parker might run. I mean, L Dog might run away from that question, maybe. Um, Now listen, we've got Daniel Dubois in some time to come if he beats Joe Joyce with Parker. I mean, we've got some great fights for Parker, man,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
If he can get, and he's still young. I think he's still in his 20s.
How old?
I think he's still in his 20s.
28.
Yeah, 28, 29. I'm pretty sure.
I heard he was younger than that. I got to check.
Might even be. I know. Like I said, I'm 30. I know he's younger than me.
Hey, look, L Dog said he's going to support her.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, that's his favorite fighter. He's going to
Hey,
support. He'll support Hergovich with even Joshua and Fury and all them because that's his favorite fighter. You know.
and that's his heritage. Most of the fellas in Australia and New Zealand, they back their heritage more than their country.
Well, then you can lose a lot of money too that way if your fighter's not that good. You know what I mean?
I think Hergovic is definitely a chance of beating Parker. Hergovic is a very good fighter.
Well, Jed, now you're on my show. I'm going to help. I'm not saying I'm doing anything for people who gamble or anything, but I do put a little bit of money on fights, right? And before I leave this show in a bit, I'm going to do my predictions and I want your help because this is my first predictions on my show, right?
No worries.
And I want to, at least give a little bit of a, just like a broad-minded prediction, but being a prediction where if I put my $50, this is where I'm going to put it at the end. I don't want to hear, how good he is. He comes from this inheritage and what he's done before. We're just going to cut it short and try and just go with where would we put our money. All right. So this is the new thing I'm doing on my show.
Yeah,
so
good, bro.
yeah. So on the next fight coming up, and I don't want to involve Roy Jones and Tyson because I don't think it's fair.
Yeah.
That's an exhibition fight. That's a fight that, I don't want to really comment too much on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
All right, because they're both going in there at 50.
I hope Roy Jones wins, but I think Tyson might get him. That's just all I'll say about it.
Yeah, maybe possibly Tyson would win that fight. But it's an exhibition fight, and they're both my legendary fighters, and
Two legends,
two legends. Yeah, and I don't know the odds of that fight either. But what I will say is, I think the next one coming up now is possibly going to be the Joe Joyce versus Daniel Dubois, right? For me.
Yep.
Yeah, for me. So let me break down the Joe Joyce and Daniel Dubois, right? I mean, this is just the way I'm going to make it easy. I'm not going to go into what somebody's going to do and how his attributes are better than his. At the end of this situation, I'm going to put my $50 on Daniel Dubois to win by stoppage.
I agree.
I mean, that's just the way I see it. It can go by points. It can happen because these both fighters are, we know Joe Joyce is credible and we know he can, I'm not seeing him get stopped. So they're both unbeaten. And even then, I see Daniel Dubois winning. And now, Jed, yeah, you can probably have your own views on your own prediction, but that's mine.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Daniel Dubois will stop him probably the 8th or 9th round. I think Joe Joyce will give him some problems early, but I think Dubois will weather the storm, and I think he'll hurt him probably midway through the fight, and that'll probably change the direction of the fight, and then I think he'll start to beat him up in the later rounds, and I think Joe Joyce will be like a sitting target by the 8th or 9th round and take it too many punches and end up getting put out.
Yeah, I think that can happen. But that's where I'd put my money. I don't want anybody to come on this show and say, "Hey, I put $100 on that," and it didn't happen. Anything can happen in boxing. So don't take my word for it. That's just where I'm going to put my money. But most of the time, Jed, I've won about 8 out of my last 10.
I had a big win the other day. I put 400 on Teofimo by decision. So.
Oh, see, that's where I fucked up. I should have listened to you.
Yeah, remember
I should have listened to you.
Punches. I remember I talked to you on punches actually.
Yeah, that's the only one I've got wrong. So at the moment, but you know what?
I was speaking to you on there. I was like, "Fuck, you should have listened to me. You would have kept
Yeah, I know I got that wrong, but you know what? It's good I got that wrong because I'm a big fan of Teofimo now.
Yeah, I like Lopez and I like Loma as well. They're both warriors. They stepped up and give us a super fight. So all boxing fans should have utmost respect for both of them. They give us a super fight this year for two of them. So they're two real fighters. I've got nothing bad to say about either of them.
Hey, for sure. And L Dog wants to say that Daniel Dubois is lucky that Joe Joyce is slow, so that would favor him in that fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
But anyway, that's where I'd put my money. Like I said, don't hold me to it. That's just where Rapstar would put his money. Anyway, the one after that, it's possibly going to be the fight I'm talking about the fights I'm going to bet on. Not all the fights I'm going to be watching to bet on. Do you know what I mean, Jed?
Yeah, cool.
Right. The next one I'm going to bet on is possibly Errol Spence, Danny Garcia.
I've got Errol Spence by decision.
I've got Errol Spence by decision too. So I'm going to put £100 on Errol Spence to win by decision. That's another bet I'm going to put on. £100, Errol Spence to win on decision with Danny Garcia. I don't want to talk about the politics, the controversies, his accident. Fuck all that. He wouldn't go in the ring if Derek James wouldn't put him back in there. He spars guys at 170 and 80 pounds. So Errol Spence is ready, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
I think so. I think Errol's he's a champion through and through. I think he can come back.
Yeah, Errol's a dog. He's ready. You can see it in his interview. He's ready.
Yeah, he's a killer, that kid.
Yeah, when they asked him about Thurman, he said, "Fuck Thurman. I don't want to talk about Thurman." Do you remember that, Jed?
Yeah. He's always like, that's why I like him. He's a real guy. He says how he feels and fights like a killer and he keeps that same mentality outside the ring. He's not one for bullshit, and it seems like he's ready to fight at all times, even on the street.
Hey, for sure, man. So yeah, Errol Spence by decision, £100 of my money is going there. And Anthony Joshua Pulev. I'm gonna tell you where I'm going, bro.
Oh wow!
I'm gonna tell you where I'm going. I'm going for after 7th round stoppage.
Yeah, I think everyone in the world's got Joshua by a stoppage in this fight.
I think Joshua wants to prove that he can stop these kind of guys.
He kind of needs that as well, I think.
Yeah, he needs redemption from the Andy Ruiz fight.
Yeah, Joshua needs to get. Me and you still know how good Joshua is, but he needs to get the casuals back a little bit by knocking over some smashing some cunt,
Yeah, so I got £100 on Anthony Joshua stoppage against Pulev.
I think that's your most safest bet. I think Pulev's a dead man walking in that fight.
Yeah, I'm going with that money. So yeah, those are my 3 bets that I'm going to bet on. I'm going to place my bets, and that's it really. Those are the 3 fights I'm betting on. Are you got any other fights that you're looking at, or you might be betting on?
Nah, because I usually bet on fights. I usually like to bet on fights where I'm really certain, like where there's a big underdog and I'm pretty confident. I might bet on Dubois if it's like kind of even money, I might bet on Joshua by KO. You know what I might do? I might put Spence by decision and Joshua KO in a accumulator. I might do that.
That's not bad bets. That's pretty good bets.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are good bets. I mean, there's no other fight that I'm really looking at betting on. I mean, the Badu Jack fight and, these other fights. I'm not really looking to bet on those.
Who's Badu Jack fighting?
I don't know who he's fighting. Badu Jack is fighting some guy. You
Badu
need to check
draw,
that.
They should call him. Badu Draw should be his name. You always find a draw. to Gale, um, Bouquet. He's had like 3 draws.
Yeah, he's had loads of draws.
Adonis Stevenson,
Yeah,
draws.
Yeah, I mean, Badou Jack's had. He's probably got the most draws out of anybody in their record right now.
Very solid fighter though, but yeah, has a lot of draws.
Do you remember that horrific injury he had?
Oh, that was fucked. Yeah, it looked like he'd been cut.
Oh, that was a huge gash, wasn't it?
Oh, that was fucked. But he's a very tough guy. He always hangs, he hangs in there. Very tough fighter.
Hey man, so I think those are the three safe bets really. Anthony Joshua by stoppage, um, Errol Spence by decision, and Daniel Dubois again with what did you have with Dubois? Do you have stoppage? I've got
Stoppage, yeah.
I've got stoppage. I've got stoppage.
I'll go 9 rounds. I'll go 9 rounds.
Yeah, I won't be surprised if it goes to points.
But you know what? What about Errol stopping Danny? That might be paying all right. But
Oh, that's big. That's good money.
I don't know if he can though. Danny's a tough motherfucker, man.
Yeah, Danny's the tough. He's a one tough son of a bitch. I have never seen Danny Garcia getting stopped by anyone.
Bro,
Keith Thurman threw everything at him. Sean Porter threw everything at that kid.
You know what, bro? I don't think I've ever seen him even really hurt. Maybe Zab Judah in the late rounds, but I've never even seen Danny really wobble. From the top of my head, I can't think of it.
Yeah, Zab Judah did hurt Danny though a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. That's the only thing. But Matisse was punching like a mule at the time, and Danny took his punches, no problem.
Yeah, Danny's got a chin like a motherfucker. That guy is strong. Danny Garcia is a strong dude. I can't see Errol Spence stopping him, bro.
No, I can't either. If Errol does, fuck, he really is.
I can't see that happening, bro.
If he really stops him, he really is the truth.
Oh, if he stops Danny Garcia?
Yeah.
Man, he goes up in pound for pound rankings.
Yeah, top 5. I got him top 5 if he stops Danny. No doubt.
Bro, you stop a man like Danny Garcia, your pound for pound rankings are going up.
Fucking earth. Yeah, Danny's underrated. People still don't give him his credit.
Man, you can't stop Danny Garcia. Come on, bro.
I actually scored the Porter fight for Danny. I actually had Garcia winning that fight.
Hey, let's see. L-Dog's got his own bets that he wants to talk about. Spence points, AJ to win, between KO between 1 and 6, and okay, those are his bets.
That's pretty good. I think he's a good chance.
You can get really good odds on that. I think if you go 1 to 6.
I think that's good. That's a good chance that'll happen as well.
You know, because if you want to win money, you got to pick a certain rounds that you want the fighter to win in. Yeah, and that gets you better money, you know?
Yeah, that's where the big money is.
But those are the fights that you think you're going to get stoppage for sure, you know?
Yeah, you know what? I remember a fight where I wished I bet the first round. Adonis Stevenson knocked out Chad Dawson first round. Do you remember that?
Yeah, of course I remember the fight. I couldn't believe that happened.
Yeah, but in hindsight, Chad Dawson coming back up, he was always probably going to get... And Adonis Stevenson was such a scary puncher. He was probably always going to knock him out in the first round. I wish I'd thought of that before the fight. That would have been a great bet to put on first round.
Yeah, that would have been good money. I mean, look, let me tell you something. Like, good money is when you can pick, like, let's say 7, 8, 9, or even if you can hold the round sometimes, and you think you can go by, you know, after 9 rounds, between 9, 10, 11, right?
Yep.
It all depends on the odds you'll get, but like L-Dog, if he goes with AJ between 1 to 3, right? If he thinks it's going to be 1 to 3, then that's big money. If you get it, you get good money.
Yeah, you will. Yeah.
Because you ain't going to get no good money on a favorite otherwise, unless you make the bet harder.
And especially at this time, because Joshua's stock's a little bit down, going the distance with Ruiz, the loss. I think the early rounds will actually be paying pretty big because the casuals aren't as hyped with Joshua now. So it'll probably be paying even better money early knockout.
I might go for it. Let me go and check Joshua's bet out again, Jed. I might look at it and I'm going to see what they're going to give me on the early rounds.
Well, said Pulev's way past it. He definitely is. Pulev's borderline. Not shot, but he's a shell of him.
Yeah, but isn't Pulev was Pulev won his last fight, didn't he?
Yeah, but he's been fighting not great opposition, you know. The last good fighter he beat was Chisora, I think. And that was years ago.
Yeah, if you ask me, he's a gatekeeper now.
Yeah, he's a good fighter, but a few years ago, he was actually quite tricky, but I think he's had it now.
Hey, listen, man. I think Pulev's in there for the check.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't think he wants. He's always been a bit. He seemed a bit apprehensive about getting in the ring with Joshua for years because I remember he turned down a shot a couple of years ago. So I don't think he thinks he can win. I think he knows he's going to get beat.
Yeah, but I think Pulev can last about 4 or 5 rounds, bro.
Yeah, maybe just because he's a bit tricky in that experience, but yeah, he's getting put to
Hey,
sleep.
because I don't know. I mean, I can't remember Anthony Joshua. When's the last few opponents he stopped before 6 rounds?
Ooh, Kevin Kingpin Johnson, that was first round. Charles Martin.
Yeah, Charles Martin was a long time ago.
Yeah, I think Charles Martin's the last. When did he stop Brazil? Do you remember what round that was?
I think that was the 7th round, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Probably Martin then.
Because remember, Deontay Wilder knocked Brazil out in the first round, wasn't
it? Yeah, you're massive.
I think Deontay Wilder knocked out Brazil in the first round.
He looked like he knocked Brazil and out of the fucking country.
Yeah, he fucked that Brazil up, dude. I mean, at the end of the day, right, any bet you would have gone with Wilder before the Fury fight, you would have definitely put your money in for a knockout. And let me tell you something. If you had followed Wilder's last, let's say 10 fights, and you just went and put $500 on every knockout, right?
Yeah.
You would have still made money because you're going for a knockout every single time.
Hey, I've got to be honest with you, I lost 700 against I bet 700 on Wilder by KO in the Fury fight this
year. Fury proved everyone wrong there, didn't he?
He did, bro. He did. So I lost money. I lost a big bet on Wilder this year already.
Yeah, before Fury, I knew a friend, and he's the same as you. He lost money on the Fury fight, but he used to bet on Wilder knockout, no matter what odds he was getting back, because he knew he'd still win all the time.
Yeah, well, when Wilder fought for Beckham, I think I put 1,000 or 1,500 on Wilder by KO versus Beckham, but the fight never happened.
Yeah, that fight never happened through some drug test, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was almost even money. So and I think Wilder could have knocked out Beckham.
Hey, Wilder can knock out anybody he connects with flush.
100%. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Whatever they say about Wilder, the power's for real, in my opinion.
I mean, he wouldn't have lasted who he was if he didn't have that power. I mean, he's a shit boxer.
Yeah, he's not very skilled.
I mean, he's not very good at boxing. That's why Tyson exposed him.
Punches like getting hit with the sledgehammer though.
I reckon Andy Ruiz could expose Wilder.
Well, if he gets inside, Wilder's dead. He'll absolutely get eaten up. But can Ruiz get past that right hand on the outside? That would be the question.
Yeah, that'd be a good fight. I want to watch Andy Ruiz.
But see, knowing Ruiz, he'd probably come in fucking not training for it and just coast on the outside and get caught by the right hand, you know? He wouldn't.
Hey, sorry, Jed. Can you turn your volume up a little bit?
Yeah, no, how's that now?
Yeah, you're much better, mate. You're much better. Yeah. What were you saying?
Yeah, knowing Ruiz, he probably wouldn't train properly though, and he'd come in and stay on the outside and get caught by the right hand, you know?
Yeah, I mean, look, now you know that you gotta know how to beat Wilder. You gotta have no respect for that power and box him up.
Yeah, pushing backwards. You can't fight going backwards.
Wilder cannot fight backwards at all.
He looks like a mummy. He walks back with both his hands stretching out in front of him.
Yeah, Wilder looks ridiculous fighting backwards, dude.
He looks like he's had a fucking bit of like.
Hey, all the Wilder fans are coming on right now. They're on the back on my chat.
Hey, well, I like Wilder as well. I lost 700 on him against Fury, so
no,
I like Wilder as well. But you got to tell it how it is.
Hey, Wilder fans, if you want to come over, man, we're just being straight up, man. The man can't fight going backwards, bro.
He can't, bro.
Wilder does not have great technical boxing ability, guys. Wilder has got no great boxing IQ. Wilder only relies on that fucking killer punch that he's got.
That right hand. You don't even throw an uppercut or a left hook.
And you can't blame Wilder because all of his career, it's been getting him through even when he's been losing every fucking round.
I'm telling you, I've never even seen Wilder throw a proper uppercut, like hurt someone with an uppercut. I can't even remember.
Yeah, Wilder doesn't, like, he loses every other round but he still managed to pulls that off with other fighters. So in his head, he had that momentum that I'm always going to win through that.
I'm always going to find that right hand, yeah.
Yeah, and that right hand could not save you with people who can work you out, and that was Fury.
I still think Wilder could maybe beat Joshua. What do you reckon?
I think Wilder's got a better chance of beating Joshua than Fury now.
Because Joshua's a bit stiff, and he could, if he's boxing at range with Wilder, it might give Wilder a bit of time to try and land that right hand, and catch AJ down the middle.
Man, I got to tell you, dude, I'm just, like I said, Wilder's only got that one hit, right hand, which is what gets him through. If somebody has got a good boxing IQ, man, they can get through Wilder by pushing him back all the time. You know what I mean?
Imagine Wilder in the 90s. He would have been in trouble. Imagine him against Lennox Lewis, Holyfield, even that version of Tyson. He would have got hurt.
Man, that's crazy, dude.
Lennox Lewis would have done Wilder in a round or two, I reckon.
I reckon Lennox would have definitely done him in within 6.
Oh, I think earlier. I think it would have looked like Michael Grant fight. Remember that fight?
I mean, you know, you can even say Riddick Bowe would have beaten Wilder.
Oh, Riddick Bowe would fucking destroy him. That would be a terrible matchup for Wilder. Look for
Yeah.
everyone here in the chat. Watch Riddick Bowe versus a guy named Gonzalez, a big punching Cuban. The way Riddick Bowe pushes him back, roughs him up on the inside, Riddick Bowe would be a nightmare for Wilder. That would be a terrible fight for him.
George Foreman would destroy Wilder.
Yeah, even old Foreman, I think, probably would beat him.
Yeah, for George Foreman would beat, because George Foreman, he was a great boxer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was a great boxer puncher. Like and even the old Foreman was even a bit more smarter with how he set up his punches and that.
Even what L Dog said, Vitaly Klitschko would have just put Wilder
Vitaly would beat the living fuck out of Wilder.
Even what's the other guy's name who knocked Wilder out in sparring? Vitaly's brother. What's his name again? I forget. Vladimir.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vladimir Klitschko.
Yeah. Wilder would probably maybe have a bit of a chance because Vladimir, had been knocked out a few times. But yeah, Vladimir would probably beat him as well. But Vitaly would destroy him. Vitaly had an iron chin. Vitaly's chin was legendary. He took Lennox Lewis punches in that fight. He would walk Wilder down and beat him up.
Hey, we got a question from the chat. Good Body Sports and News. Salute to him. Salute to Good Body Sports and News. He says, salute. Who you think Usyk fights next? I'm going to let you go first and I'll go next.
I'm not sure. Maybe if Parker wins, maybe Parker.
Okay.
I
mean, that's a good matchup. But shall I tell you the truth? That's a bad matchup for Usyk.
I think so. I think it's a hard matchup as well.
I think that's a very, very hard matchup if you think that you think he should fight Joseph Parker, because Joseph Parker, I don't know, man. Usyk didn't look great in the Chisora fight, but he needs to get proven, doesn't he? He needs to get into the top 5. So if he can't beat Parker, he definitely doesn't belong in the heavyweight.
A fight Usyk should look for that would be good for him. Maybe if he could fight Povetkin. I know Povetkin's dangerous, but he's very old, and I think Usyk's footwork would get him a pretty decisive victory there. And that's a big name as well. That might be a good fight for Usyk. Russian versus Ukraine as well. It would be a big fight in their part of the world. I think they should maybe look to, but I don't know, probably be a hard fight to make.
I mean, if Dylan White fight with Usyk, but Dylan White's he's got to get his Povetkin win, isn't he?
Yeah, and I think Dylan White's a hard matchup for Usyk as well.
I think Usyk's in a bad position in the heavyweight, bro.
No, not easy.
Can he define the odds? Okay, can Usyk learn from that Derek Chisora fight and say, you know what? I got to step this shit up, man. I mean,
of course he can. Yeah, of course. Usyk's a great talent. He could definitely adjust, and Usyk's one of them great fighters that think that if he's fit and healthy and his mind's right, he'll get better. He'll continue to improve because he's a special talent, a great talent at least. But
so you think Usyk can just? So then he needs a lighter opponent than Joseph Parker, doesn't he?
Yeah, but see, here's the thing as well. I just think either way, Usyk falls just short at the top of the heavyweight division. I don't think he can beat the top guys. I just think it's a hurdle too far. Like Lomachenko at lightweight. That's why I knew Lomachenko would lose to Lopez. I think it's the same. I think Usyk just falls short at the top of heavyweight.
Yeah, so really, Usyk might be like number 7 or 8 heavyweight.
Yeah. Maybe top five at the most, like 5 or 6 at the most.
I mean, I don't know who else he can fight. Even these fighters like Oscar Rivas and stuff like that.
Yeah, why waste time up there?
Yeah, why
Yeah,
waste time?
why
But if
waste
you
time?
think you want to belong there, you gotta. I mean, okay, if is Usyk in for the paycheck?
Oh, I think he's there for the belts. I think he's a true competitor. I think he wants to. I think he wants to be the best in the world. I think he believes he
So
can.
then, what does he want to do? Go for Anthony Joshua?
Yeah, that's probably what they would. But I don't know if that would be feasible the next fight. L Dog just said Usyk AJ. Maybe it is, but I don't know if Eddie Hearn and that will give that fight to Joshua next fight.
Man, I just think that Usyk. Where does he get a world title from? Because
Got to get Fury AJ.
Tyson Fury for me beats Usyk.
Usyk
Andy
can't beat.
Joshua for me beats Usyk.
I agree. Usyk can't beat Fury. That's a bad matchup for him. I just don't know how he wins that fight.
No.
And AJ, he's got a chance, but I think AJ fucks him up eventually in that fight. He gets to Usyk. I don't think Usyk can go 12 rounds with AJ.
So where can he get a world title from then?
Oh, well, he's out of luck, isn't he? I mean, maybe if Wilder somehow could get one back, I don't know.
He can
But
probably
even
become a regular champion.
yeah, but I don't think Usyk, that's not good enough for Usyk. I don't think he's a real, he wants to be a legend, you know?
Okay, can Usyk beat Povetkin?
Yeah, that's why I said that'd be a good fight for him. I think he could at this stage. 40 years old, he's got fast feet. I think he can dance around Povetkin and pull off that season.
But if Dylan White's chasing that fight back again, so
Exactly. And if Dillian White wins, I think Dillian White's a bad matchup for Usyk as well.
so Usyk's fucking in a situation where it goes Parker, Joshua. He's stuck with Joshua or Fury, and he's stuck with Fury.
But this is what make legends. He might go in there and prove us wrong, and then he's a true. He's an ATG if he does that.
Like Evander Holyfield.
Exactly. I mean, he's already an ATG cruiserweight. I've got him and Holyfield as the two best cruiserweights ever. And if he went up to heavyweight and become the champion like Holyfield, he'd be a real fucking Hall of Famer.
Yeah, because Holyfield's, he did it all.
Yeah, he's a true legend.
Holyfield is a cruiserweight king, and then he became a heavyweight champion, bro.
Yeah, and I've got Holyfield.
And Holyfield's time was not easy, bro.
Nah.
Holyfield's time was not easy, bro.
Nah, they were no joke back then, bro. He was walking in the park with killers.
Yeah, Holyfield was in with killers, bro.
Yeah, that's why I got Holyfield top 5, 7, something. I got him one of the greatest heavyweights ever, just at heavyweight.
Yeah. Holyfield's a one of a kind, bro.
Easy top 10 heavyweight Holyfield.
Usyk stuck. I think Usyk's in a situation. He got to go straight for the kill. Usyk's got to go straight for the title.
Yeah, that's what I think he does want to do. Because, like I said, I think he wants.
I think Usyk shouldn't go in for any other heavyweight fight because it could stop the journey. But at least this way, if he gets the title fight, it'll be so intriguing. Usyk against AJ. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you're saying, just go for the glory straight away.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't want him to get stuck with Joseph Parker or somebody.
So you're like saying, if it's a bank job, go straight for the safe.
Yeah, at least he gets the safe, and he
Yeah.
can go in, and he can go and get the legacy.
Yeah.
Because if not, everything else can block him to get to legacy.
Yeah, you're right. Because if he goes in there with Parker and gets beat, no one will give a fuck, and it's a fight for nothing, really, isn't it? So.
Yeah, SSB 28 says Usyk is mandatory in the WBO for AJ.
Well, AJ's got that belt, hasn't
he? Yeah, that's like Sean Porter's mandatory for Terrence Crawford's WBO.
Yeah, well, fuck, we might get, if we got both them fights next year, I wouldn't complain.
I mean, then we got to, pay a bit more sanctioning fee to the WBO.
Yeah. They only got recognised a few years ago. They weren't even a belt, were they, in the 90s and that?
At least they got some good fighters, eh?
Yeah.
I mean, people complain about too many belts, but at least they can make more fights this way with people who are at least up there with rankings and got those belts. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's not the old days anymore. I mean, right now, like I said, dude, Usyk. Oh man, if Usyk had done a much more better performance than Derek Chisel, they would have said, yeah, he can win a world title. You know what I mean? He can beat AJ, but it wasn't that kind of performance.
Yeah, I still didn't mind that performance against Chisora though, because Chisora gives most people a tough fight. Like Chisora was beating Dillian White till Dillian White knocked him out, and he knocked out Takam. Chisora's no joke. He's a tough out for anyone. The only guy that really did an easy job on Chisora was Fury in the rematch. That's the only guy that's ever had like an easy time with Chisora. So Chisora gives everyone a good fight.
Yeah, but he's a bit old now, dude.
Yeah, but he is. But that Dillian White fight was only a year or two ago, and he knocked out Takam. He knocked out. He's coming off some wins. So Chisora hasn't looked in the ring. He hasn't looked like shot yet. You know, he's been looking still in the same form, in my opinion. Not impressed.
I wish that. I wish they give Usyk the chance to fight through the WBO for AJ then.
Yeah, and I ain't gonna lie, I do like Chisora. I like his attitude to the sport. I like him as a fighter. So it could be a little biased. I've always liked Chisora. He's a real fighter.
Yeah, but Chisora's just a gatekeeper there now, bro.
Yeah, I still think.
Say that again.
Before the Usyk fight, where would you have ranked Chisora though? Would you still say he was a top 15 heavyweight?
Top 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to put him in the 15 because we ain't got that many heavyweights that after the 12th or 10th who can beat him anyway. He can still beat some of those guys.
Yeah, so Usyk beating top 15 heavyweight first big. That's not a bad win.
You mean Usyk, the cruiserweight king, goes to heavyweight, beats Chisora, but kind of looks like he wasn't that happy in the fight. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I get what you're saying. Usyk's also very hard. Like he's one of them fighters you can tell he's hard on himself. He wants an outstanding performance.
I don't think he was happy with that performance at all.
No, he wasn't, because Usyk's a true professional. He wants an outstanding performance all the time. That's what makes fighters great though. That mentality, you know, never are happy. You know, always wanting to outdo themselves. That's a good attitude to have as a boxer.
Yeah, I mean, you know, his little stablemate Lomachenko put a bad momentum before he went into that fight.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
I mean, Usyk's kind of was cursing Lomachenko, I think, on Twitter one day or something.
Oh, was he?
I don't know. I heard something about he didn't really praise him in that fight for Teofimo.
Because they were good mates. So that's
Yeah. He trains with his dad, right, Usyk?
I think so. Yeah, and he used to train. Usyk used to train with this guy Ali Bashir, who used to goes back to the Ali days. He had stuff to do with Ali's camp. I liked Usyk when he was under Ali Bashir. Some of his early cruiserweight fights. So I think he should have stayed with him.
Yeah. How old is Usyk now?
I think he's about 33, 34.
Oh shit! Time's not on his side.
No, I guess the heavyweights stay a bit longer though, don't they?
I mean, what's a good age for a heavyweight nowadays? In today's day and age, 35.
Yeah, I think the prime age is about say 30, 31 to about 35, 36.
Like Tyson Fury's 30.
Yep.
Andy Joshua's about 29, right?
No, I think Joshua's 31.
Joshua's older than Fury.
No, I think Fury's like 31, 32. I think they're about a year apart.
Right. Because I haven't checked their ages for a while.
Yeah, they're both born in the late 80s. I know that. I remember seeing that on there when you look at the fighters' upcoming fights. I see that. I'm sure they're both born in the late
80s. So these guys are in their 30s, early 30s, and then here we go. Usyk's in his 35. Holy shit! Yeah. He's got to give it all now. I don't think it's an easy task for him, dude. I would like to say, I like to see a cruiserweight with his chances against Joshua. I definitely don't give him any chance with Tyson Fury at all.
He can't
at all.
No, I agree. No way he beats Fury.
Yeah, he don't do nothing with Fury, dude.
No, I agree.
I think even like Chisora, like L-Dog said, he's like a throwback fighter now. But he's got a good resume of going in with a lot of fighters. But his last best win was with Takam.
Takam, yeah.
Yeah, the last win I really was happy seeing Chisora in was with Takam or Takam, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah, that's a big win. Spilka, he knocked out the Polish fella, but that was...
Yeah, that wasn't a bad win.
Yeah, but Spilker really isn't that.
I mean, he was doing really good in the Dylan White first fight.
He was, and the second fight, he did.
Yeah, he was doing good, but he just got caught.
Yeah, Chisora ain't no joke. He's a tough fighter.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. I'm glad they didn't give Dylan White that fight straight away with Povetkin, because the knockout he took, that was a serious knockout, dude.
Yeah, that was some heavy shit.
I don't think Derek Chisora's been knocked out like that.
Nah, David Hay might David. Oh well, White did knock him out, didn't he? But
yeah, but there was. I mean, White did knock him out, but Dylan White fell asleep for a second.
Yeah, Dylan White's head bounced off the canvas like a basketball, you know.
That was a bad knockout, dude.
That was bad. That
Do
was
you
one
think?
of them ones before he hit the ground, you knew it was over.
I don't even know if we know if Dylan White can come back from that.
No. Peace out, L Dog. I just saw his comment. Peace out, bro.
Yeah, I really don't know if he could get through that, dude.
But see this lad here said Usyk couldn't stop at Chisora. That's true, but Usyk's not. I don't think he's going to stop many people at heavyweight. Usyk's going to, if he wins big fights, he's going to do it by outpointing them and just out hustling them, staying on the outside and just being a bit more active. He's not going to go in and stop anyone at heavyweight. No chance. No one to lead anyway.
Yeah, dude. I got to tell you, man. I want to see if Dylan White can come back from that punch. Some fighters are never the same after that.
No, they aren't. Yeah,
I can mention fighters like Harold Graham. Remember Harold Graham?
Yeah, Julian Jackson iced him. That was
Julian Jackson, when he knocked him out like that, he was never the same.
That's one of my favourite knockouts ever. That's a sick one.
Yeah, and do you know that Julian Jackson came out of a eye operation before he went in there?
You know where I heard that? I heard that yesterday on you were talking with I think Mark and a few other was it Mark and D you were talking to?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I'm always educating myself with the history.
Hey, you know when I was listening to that rap style on the way to the boxing gym today, I was listening to that on my headphones. That your show with them too.
Awesome, man. What, you was going to the boxing gym, were you?
Yeah, my family owns a boxing gym. We've got a boxing gym here in Sydney. So
beautiful, man. So you guys have little fighters coming up there. You do stuff with the amateurs.
We're a new gym. We only started a year ago, so we're still in the process of getting some fighters there and that. You know, we've got a few young fighters.
Yeah, great, man. You get your stable going really well. And I know some of the circuit with about 20, 30,000 fans and stuff, and you go around there anyway. You've seen and then hopefully you get your gym going. And then if you get someone coming up for your Southern title or local title, then I will put some good word in for your gym later on in the future.
Yeah, 100%, brother. That's smart.
For sure, mate. For sure. Because you'd be surprised how many Australians are subscribed to all this YouTube YBTC, the YouTube boxing community.
Yeah.
There's tons of Australians subscribed too.
Yeah, no, there is. I've seen a few other Aussie lads on it. Yeah, 100% there is.
Yeah, because some of the Aussies love their boxing. You got some guys out there, you know what I mean? And you got people, like you said, it might not be a huge sport, but you guys have got, still a lot of population who still does love boxing.
Yeah, there's still a hardcore fan base here for sure.
What's your best stadium to watch fights? What places do they go to?
Well, the places they've been having, for me personally, my favourite was the entertainment centre. So that they have here. That's just a little. That's not the biggest stadium, but I love that because there's been so many big. There was a lot of fights here back in the day and that. But as far as the stadiums, they could probably they had the Kim Kazoo one was the one in Queensland. But they could probably do a big fight here at the one at it's at Homebush. It fits about 80 to 100,000 people.
How many?
80 to 100,000.
Holy fuck, that's a huge stadium, dude.
You know where they built that Rab Star? Do you remember the 2000 Olympics here?
Yeah.
Yeah, they built that stadium for that.
That's a huge stadium, bro.
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't know if Anthony Mundine and Green fought in the stadium here. I can't remember which one that was. I was about 15, 16 when that fight would happen. Right,
give me the name of that stadium again.
The one at Homebush.
The one with the 80,000 crowd.
Yeah, it used to be called. I'll just get the exact name for it now. They change the name every few years. I can't keep up. I'll just look at it now quickly.
No, only reason is if I come across with some conversations with Australians or anything that at least I can always recommend that stadium.
Yep, no worries. Give us 30 seconds.
Yeah, cool. It's like I always like to do a facts check for myself.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I like to know about what stadiums that people can host big fights. Just like if Teofimo Lopez comes to Australia.
ANZ Stadium, it's called now.
AN what?
ANZ.
Okay. ANZ. And what
ANZ
city?
Stadium. Sydney.
So if Teofimo Lopez comes over there
Yep.
to fight Combosa, what, can it fight in that stadium?
I don't know if they could sell out that, to be honest, because Cambosis isn't that well known. I don't know.
No, he's not that well known. They couldn't sell that one out. They need something like 20, 30,000.
I reckon they could sell about maybe 30,000 tickets or something, maybe. But because Cambosis is from Sydney, he's not far from that area. But no way they're selling that out. He's not a big enough name. But Tim Tszyu against a bigger fighter down the line, who knows?
Yeah, Tim Tszyu, if he carries on winning and he can get a big fight soon, that would be great.
Yeah, it'd have to be a superstar, I reckon, though. Like obviously they're too old, but a fighter as popular as a Mayweather or Pacquiao, I think would have to be a fighter that popular overseas, you know?
Yeah, it wouldn't happen. It can only happen with Canelo, and Canelo's in a different weight class.
You said it. Canelo, Tim Tszyu could probably, you know, that's a fight that's probably unrealistic, but something like that could probably sell that stadium.
Hey, I reckon Tim Tszyu can beat. Maybe he can have a good chance with Tony Harrison.
I think he could beat. Yeah. I think he could beat Tony Harrison.
I think Tim Tszyu can beat Tony Harrison.
Yeah, Tony Harrison. I'm not as sold as everyone. To me, he's like an 8-round fighter. He can't keep what he does up for the 12 rounds.
I'm just trying to look at the 154 division. Jarrett Hurd.
I think that's a bit too early for Tim Tszyu at the moment.
I'm looking at his next year because look, 2021's coming. By 2022, he got to fight one of these guys.
Yeah, I don't think Jarrett Hurd would be. I don't know if he could beat him at this stage. Jarrett Hurd's a strong, big lad. I mean, he's almost a fucking super middleweight. He's tough.
I like the way he totally bullied Jeff Horn, though.
Yeah, it was good. But and you know what I liked as well? The control of distance in that fight. He controlled distance beautifully. Because Jeff Horn darts in real awkward, and Tim Tszyu controlled the distance and just had a few steps back and countered Horn beautifully. That was what really impressed me in that fight, the way he controlled the distance.
He's trained with Manny Pacquiao before. Tim Tszyu's trained with Manny Pacquiao before.
Yep.
It seems like he just needs 4 or 5 fights.
I think so too. That's exactly 4 or 5 more fights over the next year or two, and then I think he could maybe compete at the elite. But like I said, I think he could beat the Brazil champion right now.
What's his name?
I don't know. He's got the WBO belt. I'm not sure his name though.
But once he gets that title, then it means he can't move backwards.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So I don't know whether he wants experience.
Yeah.
To go into Jamal Charlo. You got killers out there.
He's not ready for that at the moment.
No, they're not. He's not ready for that. And
Charlo.
I reckon he's 3 fights away before he gets to Tony Harrison.
Yeah, probably too. Yeah, I think that would be a good opponent. Pretty short.
Because I want to see him move forward. If he's got talent, then he's got to beat people like him.
Oh, he has to. Yeah. No, he's got to see this fight he's having now is a step backward. He's fighting some other Aussie lad here that he's not even as good as Jeff Horn. I don't like that fight. It's a waste of time to me.
So he's not improving with this fight then?
Nah, I don't think he is at all. I don't like it. And like I said to you, Mark Hunt fighting a football player here. People are more talking about that. That's on the undercard.
Hey, Jed, I'm just going to announce, dude, you look like a really cool dude. I'm going to give you one of those mods. Is that cool? So you're going to be a moderator of my channel. You're going to be one of these guys that it's like our boxing family. So if you see really bad abuse or bad trolls, you have power to take them off. I'm gonna give you a moderating, bro.
Oh, okay, so that's all good, bro.
Yeah, you know what that is, right?
Yeah. The thing with that, they get the little spanner wrench beside your name, mate.
Yeah, they call it ranch, bro. I'm gonna give you ranch, bro. Like you're in B&Q. Yes, but I'm not on my laptop. I'm using my phone. So once I ever go on my computer, next time you're on, I'm gonna set you up as one of them with one of them ranches, bro.
Oh, good, my bro.
Yeah, for sure, man. And listen, you seem like you're knowledgeable with boxing, and you got Australian connection. So Hey man, I used to do a lot of stuff in the amateurs. I've done stuff for charities, so I know what it's like with those boxing gyms. There's a lot of different things that go into boxing, man. So
Yeah.
I'm glad, you know what I mean. We met you, Jed, and it seems like you're around the whole YouTube circuit anyway.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, yeah. We even, like I said, we had Jeff. We even had, I mentioned earlier, we had Jeff Fennick in our family gym a few weeks ago, and he's the king of Aussie boxers down here. You know.
Excellent, excellent, man. I mean, I've had friends who fought George Groves, even Carl Froch. I'm not going to mention names because even if
Yeah.
some of my
No.
friends lost, some of my journeymen, it's not in my right to keep
Yeah.
calling names
Of
like
course.
that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, even with the John Ryder, I had somebody who I knew who had fights with him. So that's just in my own local town, and from young boys, I've had boys going in there training from 9, 10, giving it their all. One of my very close friends is an ABA champion 2 times, which
Okay.
means he's an amateur champion within our own
Was he from
whole.
your area,
Yeah,
your neighbourhood? Hey,
yeah,
I'm pretty good because there's a lot of. I'm pretty good with the accents. You're from like inner London, eh?
yeah,
You
yeah.
from
We're
like
from probably London, East London, bruv.
yeah. So what you use class as a Cockney or
Yeah, yeah, we're Cockneys.
you're Cockneys, eh? I can tell the way you talk. Yeah.
Yeah, we're Cockneys, bruv. We're born and bred in the market trade. That's where we are.
Yeah,
We're in
yeah.
the Cockney, East London. We're crazes. We're all that craze, the pubs, all them markets and everything which is just straight in your face. You know what I mean? We're just,
Yeah. Yeah, I know an older guy. He's an old man now. He's locked up in England. He'd know a few. You'd know a few of the names he knew from East End for sure.
oh, East End's big in boxing, bruv.
Yeah, what are those two brothers? They got that gym, eh? They got two brothers. I think it's called the Peacock Gym.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's been for years.
Yeah.
Peacocks. Peacocks
Yeah.
has been for years, bruv.
I heard that they've got two brothers that run it. They're pretty serious fellas. I heard about them.
Yeah, 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 yeah. They've been in the game for years. Most of the boxers which come from overseas, whether he's even Mayweather or anyone, you go through Peacocks.
Oh, big respect to them. Yeah.
It's like a boxing fraternity of East London.
Yeah, that's where Mayweather come, eh? When he come to
Yeah,
I
and
think
would you
come to
believe
England.
it? Oh, yeah, I've got pictures with Mayweather, and I've also got to shake his hand when he wasn't shaking nobody's hand, and it was just the way that I approached him, and he was with security. Yeah, I met him right there at Peacocks.
Oh, that's mad. That's good. Yeah.
Because I've got really good amateur friends, which are really highly regarded in the amateur rankings, and they help England champions right now in the nationals. I mean, in the
Yeah.
internationals as well.
Yeah. Right.
So I got friends in that circuit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
That's
they call me in. They told me, yeah, Mayweather's coming. So I've got some connects in the boxing world.
good. Tyson come there as well, did he? When he come to UK?
Yeah,
Tyson
yeah,
go to
yeah.
Peacock.
Most
Yeah.
fighters, even the Australian fighters, when they come to London, they got to go to Peacock's
You
gym,
got to
bruv.
go to Peacock, eh? To rite of passage.
Yeah, you got to go to Peacock's gym, mate. That's just like the fundamentals, the foundation of where we are in London. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Does Dubai even train out of there now, or?
Nah, I mean everybody trains in and out. Anthony Yardy goes
Yeah.
there. All the
Yeah.
boxers go in and out there. You can always see in their videos. You'll see Peacock.
Where's Yard's gym at? I like the look of that gym. It's got a good environment. And that. They go at it hard there. I've seen some of the sparring there and training.
I don't know. I've never ever researched where his gym is, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he trains with that lad Tundi. His name is. You know him?
Tunde.
Yeah, Tunde. Yeah.
Yeah, Tunde's very vocal. They
Yeah.
tried their
So,
hardest in the Kovalev fight, just inexperience. They nearly took Kovalev out of there.
well, they give it their best shots. They come in confident. You know, that's the way you got to be. They just didn't come up a bit short. You know, but
But hopefully he learns a lot from that, Jed.
Yard's very talented. It's a shame. I heard he didn't have much amateur fights. He might have started a bit late, but he's very talented kid.
There's another fighter in England who they say can beat Yard. His name's Joshua Botsy.
Yeah, he's a good
Botsy?
fighter. Waxy, but he's a good fighter. He's
What
quite
do you
well
think of
skilled.
that? Anthony Yard against Joshua Botsy. Give us your
Yeah,
breakdown.
I'd maybe favour Buatsi to win a decision in that fight. He's quite well schooled, and I could see he's clever in the ring, and he's one of them guys. He knows how to win rounds. You know.
I think he can beat Anthony Yardy over decision too.
I think he does. I think he's beating by decision. But that'd be a great fight.
Yeah, because there was another guy, Tyson Fury's cousin, who never fought him, Jose Burton.
I think Yard would have beat him.
He was tall and lanky, wasn't
Yeah, I think a good fight would be Yard and who's the light heavyweight, the redheaded lad. He fought Viterbiev. He dropped Viterbiev. You know him?
he?
Fuck, I can't remember his name.
I can't remember.
Yeah, he's a light heavyweight. You know Viterbiev, the Chechen?
Yeah.
He dropped him. He's a British fighter. He dropped
Oh,
Viterbiev.
oh, Callum Johnson.
Yeah, him and Yard would be a good fight.
Callum Johnson and Botsy will be a good fight.
Yeah, or Yard as well, him and Yard.
Yeah, even him and Yard for sure. Because he's the only guy who ever dropped that guy, isn't he?
I think another American dropped him earlier in his career, but it was like it wasn't as clean as Callum Johnson's punch, you know.
Yeah, I mean Callum Johnson. A lot of people had their eyes on him early days, and that was a fight which was unfortunate for him because that other dude, can't pronounce his name really well, but he seems to be the real one.
Yeah, Viterbiev, you talking about?
Yeah, he seems to be like the real dude.
Yeah, he's from the same region as Khabib, where Khabib's from. They're fucking tough people down there.
Kazakhstan.
Nah, he's from Chechnya. Khabib's from Dagestan, but they're right next to each other.
I get confused with.
Yeah, so it's like like Manchester and Liverpool. They're not far. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I mean, what do you feel about that? Because I do like combat sports when it comes to the elite. Khabib's retired. Is that true?
Yeah. I think he might come back for GSP, George St. Pierre. If they can get him out of retirement, I think he'll come back for that.
Oh, they're gonna have to pay him millions and millions for that.
Yeah, millions and millions. But other than that, I think Khabib's done, bro.
Yeah, what a calm. He's another great, calm. What a killer in the ring, destroy you, but calm personality, dude.
Special fighter. He, in my opinion, he's never lost a round. Because I've watched all these UFC fights, I've never had him losing a round.
Some people said he lost a round to Conor McGregor.
Yeah, they did. The judges give it to Conor, but I still think Khabib won that round.
Wow, never lost a round.
In my opinion, he's never lost a round.
How many boxers we know that we can say that about?
No, I can't think of any.
Because Mayweather did lose quite a lot of rounds here and there.
Well, Mayweather would give up the first few, have a look at you and that, work you out.
Yeah, Mayweather would give some people a couple of rounds to work you out to load data on you.
Yeah, exactly, like a scientist,
Wow, man, Khabib didn't lose a round. That's a big statement.
And them guys he fought, Rapstar, like Gaethje, Poirier, that's the last two fighters he fought. They're elite at that weight class. They were on the form of their career. They were looking the real deal. Like they were on the best streaks of their career. They were some of the best fighters in the world, and he just went in there and played with them. Just run through them.
Yeah, man. I mean, Khabib fought whatever was right in the rankings or whoever everybody wanted him to fight.
Yeah, he did, and he made it look easy.
And there's not many fighters that you can say would have beat him. Even all these other fighters around him, he beat people who beat them.
Yeah, no one at lightweight you could pick to beat Khabib. No way.
Nah, he beats him so convincingly for me. It's like he belongs in a different league and they all belong somewhere else.
Yeah, that's it. See, that's why they wanted Khabib to move up. That's the only way he would have got some competition if he moved up in weight.
Yeah, but he would have probably got into a little battle here and there somewhere where that wasn't his weight.
Yeah, that's the only way to beat him.
I would have liked to see Khabib against Jorge Masvidal.
Oh, I think Khabib would out-wrestle Masvidal, man. I don't think Jorge's a really good fighter, but he's been out-grappled before numerous times. And Khabib's a better grappler. I think Khabib would
he's been beaten by people that Khabib would have beaten anyway.
Yeah, and he's been out-grappled by guys that aren't as good as Khabib wrestling.
Yeah. I mean, is there any UFC fights that you can tell my viewers about that's coming up this year?
No, that's what I was saying earlier. I don't even know if there's any big fights. I don't even know what's happening with UFC because their divisions are they don't know what John Jones is doing at the moment if he's going to move up. So that fight, him fighting for the heavyweight title, that's not close to official. Yeah, I can't even think of any big fights on their rise at the UFC. It's kind of quiet at the moment.
Nothing big in the UFC this year, is there?
Nah, maybe Masvidal and they were trying to put Masvidal and Covington together. Do you know him, Covington?
Oh yeah. Of course, I've been watching. I mean, I watch all of that. I watch all the, but I just don't watch. You know, the underdogs. Like I watch in boxing. Like in boxing, I watch all the underdogs, the journeymen.
Yeah,
You know, hardcore. You're talking about fighters that people wouldn't even believe. You know what I mean?
yeah, they don't know. Yeah, exactly.
So that's a different level of educating myself in boxing.
Yeah,
Um, you know, I want to know ages. Sometimes I want to know reach. You know,
yeah, all that. Yeah, all
but
that
with
stuff.
UFC, I don't have all that in my mind of the interest. I'm
Well,
only interested in.
if you ever want to ask about UFC, I'll help you out. You know, because I follow the sport second to boxing. I follow it nearly as close as boxing, so I can, you know, if
So
you ever
who's
want to
the
ask me a
UFC
question.
Australian fighter apart from Robert? Is his name Robert Whittaker?
Yeah, the featherweight champ at the moment, Alex Volkanovski. He's the featherweight champ.
Is he the one who beat Max Holloway twice?
Yeah. He beat
So
Max
you
Holloway
already
twice.
know I know my UFC to a
No,
certain extent.
you do. Yeah, you do. You know
I
that.
just
Yeah.
don't know it like to the level of boxing, if that makes sense.
The second Holloway fight was close though. It could have gone either way.
The Holloway fight?
The second one, yeah, Holloway had an argument. It could have gone either way. It was a very close fight.
Right. I mean, I've got to tell you, mate. I mean, UFC is a great sport, but I get excited when it's fighters that are bubbling up, which are in the top five. You know,
Yeah.
I'm more like the Israel. I can't pronounce his name. Israel.
Israel Adesanya.
Yeah, that
Adesanya.
motherfucker's special.
He's a wicked fighter. Yeah,
He's a special fucking talent, bro.
He reminds me of remember when Anderson Silva, like 2008, 2007.
Oh yes.
He reminds me of like that, you know.
Yeah. He reminds me of a modern version of Anderson Silva.
Yeah, I'd tell you a fight where he lost though. A good kickboxing fight. He fought this Brazilian Pereira. That's the last guy to beat Israel.
Okay, yeah, I seen that knockout on some YouTube video.
Yeah, that guy's the best kickboxer in the world at the moment for his division. That Brazilian fella.
The guy who knocked him out.
Yeah. So that's no shame in that loss. You know.
Oh yeah, I gotta check who that is then, because I never.
That guy's the best kickboxer at that division.
So he's only into kickboxing. He's not in MMA.
Nah. He's only kickboxer. He's the best in Glory, the kickboxing organisation.
Yeah, but kickboxing, they don't really show it in many.
Nah, it never set off for some reason. I don't understand why. Because in UFC, people love when they stand up, and in kickboxing, they stand up the whole time, kick and punch and kneeing, but people won't watch it for some reason, you know.
Yeah, kickboxing hasn't taken off in England either.
Nah, not at all.
Hey, do you know what? Let me tell you some British MMA fighters. You know MVP?
Yeah, Michael Venom Page. Yeah, I know him.
He was doing well until he got beat by that guy in Bellator.
Yeah, but that guy's a very good fighter. They put him in with a very experienced. Douglas Lima's probably a top 10 welterweight.
Yeah, showing off that he was doing didn't work against that dude.
Nah, Douglas Lima's too good for that shit. That wasn't ever going to work.
But that MVP was coming in England like he was the next big thing. You know what I mean?
He was a talented fighter. I think he's from a karate background.
Okay, you might know more about him. I don't know.
Yeah, I think. Well, I'm just looking at the way he fights. His style reminds me of the karate. A lot of footwork, a lot of fancy footwork, and that. I'm pretty sure he'd be from a karate, taekwondo type background.
Right, gotcha. Yeah, look, mate, I'm really interested in some of the combat sports. It's just Bellator's got my attention with some of the fighters. You got the UFC. Yeah. Apart from that, I don't really watch anything else.
I'll tell you the best kickboxer of the modern era. His name's Giorgio Petrosian. If you ever want to have a look at him, he's a special talent.
Okay, and he's all over YouTube, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's an Italian. His record's 102 wins, 2 losses, or something like that.
Say his name again?
Giorgio, and the last name's Petrosian.
Right. Was he Australian?
No, he's Italian.
Sorry, you did say Italian. Yeah, Italian.
Yeah. I'll type his name in the comments after the video.
Yeah, and also put your email in the comments too.
Yes, sweet, no worries.
Yeah, you got an email, and then sometimes I can send you the link direct, and if you ever feel like it, you can come on.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, well, listen, it's been an amazing chat with you. I learned a lot about the Australian few bits that you reminded me of in Australian boxing. I hope Maloney gets that shot back and makes the rights back into rights because it was no wrong.
Yeah, 100%, my brother. It's 10 o'clock here anyway, so it's getting late. I've got to go. I haven't had dinner yet, so I've got to
Yeah,
go
yeah,
and
yeah.
clean
So
up.
look, I really appreciate you coming on the platform. I'm just gonna exit the platform, but you can exit while I'll just tell the chat before I go. But thanks for coming on, Jed. I really appreciate you, bud.
All good, my bro. Anytime. Peace out, my lad. All right, see you,
See ya.
lad.
Yeah,
See
see
ya.
ya. Send your email if you can. Yeah, Rapstar's gonna be over and out. Thanks for following the chat. We just cooked it up with the brother from Australia, Jed Kyle. You know, just started speaking about different parts, different bits of boxing. You know, over here we can start with one conversation and it gets to any conversation when it comes to combat sports, but especially in boxing. You know, I can start with what we're going to start with, and we go all the way talking about with the good brothers of boxing, you know, because we get so many knowledgeable people in the YouTube platform. I got to really tell you, there's some great people in this YouTube platform. Some of them are so knowledgeable. Some of them have got the history of the sport. You know, I'm constantly, educating myself in the sport, and not to say I don't have enough that I'm educated with, but we're constantly learning. And you know, we could be speaking about to one brother, and he'll talk about a fighter in the '60s. Then we speak to another brother, and he knows fighters from the '50s. So that's what we need. We need to have all this kind of sport from the history to tell the young generation that do you remember these kind of fighters? And that's the kind of brothers which come onto YouTube. The people who've been in the game. We've got all kinds of people in the boxing fraternity. Thanks for following the show. Thanks for watching the show today. Rapstar Boxing Knowledge. D Hodges in the place. Thanks for coming on. Salute.